time for that very interesting Twitter poll. How was the year 2015 for your portfolio? That was Anuj's question on Twitter. We have, I understand, almost 500 votes on this. Anuj, it must have been a very interesting last couple of hours in interacting with the Twitterati. But what's the word?
Yeah, so, almost on a daily basis, I interact with the Twitterati. So I thought, today let's just run a poll and see how the year has been. And Sonia, what's interesting is that it's, of course, unscientific poll because, as I said, it's 500 votes. It was just published 2 hours back. So we are taking 500 as a sample size, but it's fairly large for an online poll. Now, what really amazes me is that the year is, we keep saying that this has been a bad year for equities. 39%, and it's almost reaching 40% now, respondents said that they gained over 10%. Their portfolio was up over 10% in a year in which the Nifty was down 6%. And you have 26% saying that they made gains of 0 to 10%. So you have 65% of the audience, or at least those who voted in this poll, who said they made money in this market. But there was also a loss of over 10% for 22% of people. So it was telling you that, if you got your stocks wrong, of course, and if you were stuck to some of the large caps, you would have made losses. But if you got the mid caps right, you made a lot of money. In fact, there's some interesting responses. There's Hitesh Rathi, who's in fact given some names as well where he's made money, Morpin, Canfin, Lumex, saying that, how if you buy good companies, then your stocks can outperform. This is his portfolio, of course. So
we should invite him on our show. I'm telling you, he's a great stock picker, right?
Yes.
Look at the names he's picked up.
Exactly. Some of these stocks have done remarkably well. There's another one, who says that, as we keep saying on the show, it's been healthy for the portfolios. The portfolio investors have done well.
Yeah.
It's not, the headline does not reflect that. And finally, I think this one really takes the cake for me. It says that, maybe you should have more categories like more than 20%, 40%, considering it was a stock pickers market. Some of the investors have said that they've made 60%, even 70% in the year gone by, purely trading the individual mid caps and small caps. So it's been that kind of year. And, I keep repeating, the first half of next year could well be the repeat of the second half of this year, which is the mid caps and small caps continue to do well and index continues to frustrate you.
But this is interesting. Losses of over 10% is 22%
Yes.
of the population, or rather of who's the respondents. That just goes to show that if you had put your money in an index fund, which a lot of people have
Yes.
done this year, a lot of people have lost money as well this year.
And I've got responses on that as well, but because of lack of time, I could not publish that. This is mostly on people who have bet on private sector banks,
Okay.
the likes of ICICI, Axis Bank, even HDFC Bank, or some of the private sector funds, private sector bank funds. They are the ones where you have seen the biggest losses, and of course in metal names. But essentially, the losses are in the large cap category. So that's something which clearly stands out.
Well, that's a big takeaway, right? I mean, when you started the year, one thought that private sector banks was the safest place to be,
Yeah.
and so was pharma. But these are the sectors that have given you big landmines as well. But that's a great poll. We hope to see more of that in future. Of course, you've been following him on Twitter. You can take a look at all the respondents on Twitter as well. But